Gaze of emotion.
Well, good evening, everybody, as we just went live to make sure that everybody knows we are in a glass case of emotion. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Olympians of all ages, please welcome back to 1933, as here we are once again for the one that started it all, Pulp Cthulhu's Project Athena. And we've got a lot to do. So I usually have a lot of hot air. I'll get that out midstream, but we've got a lot of people in chat that want to see some Olympians do their thing in 1933 Nazi-controlled Berlin, as do I. So let's pass this up, and I'm going to go straight up to the person in the glass case. Lauren, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. This is me and Greg's third game of the weekend together, and we're both still alive, so it's going really well so far. Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm that salty ginger over on Twitter, and tonight I'm playing Miss Sabella Maria of Zavav's Esoteric and Antiquarian Bookstore in the beautiful Lower East Side of Manhattan, and she's just having just the best time. She loves all the people that she gets to meet in this wonderful city. It's so fun. Good times. That's me.
Now, we were speaking about this before. Maybe I missed it. Did you bury the lead again with Ives Esoteric and Antiquarian Bookstore, Miss Sabella? She's a...
Oh, okay. Right. She's a psychic. That.
Okay. There's a lot of really great details in there. Okay. No longer a psychic. She a former psychic, Miss Sabella Marie Ives. And let's go over to the current psychic of the group, Strider. Who are you playing this evening, and how are you?
Oh, hey man, I'm doing well. You know, I think streams are kind of like restaurants. Some of them got like weird themes and are quirky. Some of them have like crazy exotic food you've never heard of before. You got your favorites, but Sundays, Pulp Cthulhu, Sundays are like good home cooking with family. And speaking of family, I can't think of a better definition than a group of 5 or 6 people that you can stand for about 2 hours on weekends. So I'm here. I'm happy to be here. I'm going to be playing Elijah Sawyer, con man extraordinaire, who is not doing too many silly voices right now because he's trying to confide in people and build bonds. But maybe I can test out the German accent tonight if all goes well.
Okay, I'm just going to make a small interjection right there. And when you said confiding in people and building bonds, I've been the keeper now of several Cthulhu shows, and that was the scariest sentence I believe I've heard yet. That's no bullshit. I'm like legitimately frightened about what that could bring. And being legitimately frightened about somebody, let's drop right down and talk to Steven. Steven, how's Dwight doing this evening?
Dwight is doing good. He's ready to go. He's probably a little nervous about stepping out of the door because he's killed a police officer. He has already pretty much, like they were saying before, stirred the hornet's nest, and I am prepared and ready to rock and roll.
Oops. Damn it. There we go. I'm back. Sorry, my button got stuck. Allison, how are you doing this evening?
Hey, Greg. Hey, everybody. It's Allison. I'm playing Caitlin Jane O'Callahan, aviatrix extraordinaire, princess of the skies, America's flying sweetheart. And Stephen, I get that you'd be a little anxious having just killed a police officer and all that, but I would just remind you that last season, I sort of kind of almost accidentally blew up 5 federal agents while in the process of destroying my would-be girlfriend's bookstore. So man up a little bit, bud. Okay, we're going to need you tonight. Mwah.
Awesome. So Steven, yeah, no one's keeping score.
That was a dig, Steve.
Right.
Yeah, see, I told you, remember?
I'm going to put a dig graphic up just so everybody knows when it happens. It'll just flash. I'll get that next week, everybody. And speaking about the floating dig graphic that nobody needs to be aware of, let's go over to Lindy. Lindy, how are you doing this evening, and how is Dr. Greta Von Krause?
Hi, Greg. I'm doing super spiffy. I'm ready to play some Pulp Cthulhu tonight. Yeah, I love it so much. It just completes me as a person, and I love it. And I'm going to be playing Greta von Kraus, Dr. Greta von Kraus, this evening, who is a doctor and scientist extraordinaire, the best of the best. And in her home country of Germany, where everything's great, she had like an afternoon of peace and quiet. She got stuff done. She's having a pretty good day. Oh,
Which is awesome.
And she got to teleport and see Mr. JD with Sabella. And when we came back, she saw her favorite person trying on outfits. So, you know, just the best day for her.
Right, she got the research in. She had some private bathroom time. She got to teleport back in time to see. Oh, we'll get into all that in a second. So everybody,
Sounds like
that
a
brings.
spring break, man.
It really does. This isn't Berlin. It's Fort Lauderdale. What's going on? It's Panama City. Okay. Anywho, so as we sit down and we drill back into 1933, the Olympians are as they've been described to you. But what happened in our last session is as follows. As we get cheers coming in. Thank you, Mint Magician. I will get to those in a second. I think we get somebody to do something, but I'll check it in one moment. So as we are sitting here and as we are looking at these people, we need to know where they've been to know where they're going. Last time on Project Athena, we had several things occur, chief of which was the teleportation incidents. The number one teleportation incident involved Dwight Burke and Cato Callahan as they were transported to a time in the recent-ish past of Europe, but it was different. It was a dream-type scenario where they were lost for the majority of the episode until they were able to find their way back. The other teleportation incident was also already hinted at by Lindy, who said that Dr. Greta von Kraus and Miss Sabella Marie Ives, definitely not a psychic, went back in time and saw in the same apartment in which they are currently occupying the person that they have called Dietrich Prime. Or maybe I've called him Dietrich Prime. It doesn't matter. But DP was in there, and Dietrich Prime was able to kind of, as he always does, get under their skin quickly and be able to, I don't know, instigate some emotions. At which time the conversation and the visit was cut short, and those two were whisked back to the apartment. Now, arriving back in 1933 Berlin, they were arrived to the apartment to see that one Elijah Sawyer had returned. Elijah had witnessed the disappearance of Dwight Burke. He had also witnessed their perhaps new foe, Ludolf von Alvensleben of the Ministry of the Occult, one of Hitler's premier divisions inside the Nazi regime, saw him shut off a section of Berlin. And by that I mean he stopped everyone in their tracks. Every biological instrument within a several block radius froze, including the birds, including the people, and almost including one Elijah Sawyer. However, as Elijah Sawyer and perhaps Strider have proven in this campaign, numbers are just another thing to manipulate. As the luck of the goddamn Irish, Italian, German, French, Spanish, everybody rolled into one, helped out Elijah as he was able to somehow escape the scenario without detection and make his way back to the apartment. But now, as all of the Olympians have returned, they get a chance to start over again, perhaps get a take two on what exactly is going on here in Berlin. They have objectives. They have potentially an order in which they want to fulfill them. And we're going to learn about that in just a second. But as everything is already coming in, I will let you know that this is a deadly case scenario, in which case, if something were to happen to one of these Olympians, they could easily be put in a situation where if they don't quite have Elijah's luck, they could die, because this is Cthulhu, albeit Pulp Cthulhu, which is a little bit hardier than the squishy other version. But if you would like to help, please look down and you can see the donations that you can give. Advantage, you can give critical successes. You can make things worse for them, as a lot of our viewers like to do. I'm not saying that you're a bad person if you do it. In fact, I'm saying you're a good person if you do it, because by God, you like stories. And also, should you care to join us in one of our adventures, the option to become an Olympian and create a part of the canon of Project Athena is within your grasp. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Olympians of all ages, Grimjack21502 proudly brings to you Project Athena. And so now that you have set the stage, and now that we have seen the characters, and now that we know a bit more about them, and now that I am scared beyond any measurable doubt about Elijah Sawyer's intentions, let's rejoin the group in the apartment and see exactly what they are going to do. Kids?
As soon as Kate steps through the portal into the apartment, she does a quick head count and makes sure that everyone's accounted for. And then she says, "Now, before y'all say another word, you need to know that our friend, Colonel Dietrich, may very well be watching us right now. I'd swear I saw him when I came through that portal. Mr. Burke, did you see that as well? He's like sitting right here looking at us, drinking coffee, wearing like a bathrobe or something."
I don't recall. Did I see him, Greg? Yeah, I saw him.
Isabella finally pokes her head out of the bedroom, carrying all her fun books. "In a bathrobe drinking coffee? Good." Smile at Greta.
Bathrobe?
Does that sound familiar, Isabella?
Mm-hmm.
Greta's just gonna, she's sciencing, but she's just gonna nod along with Isabella.
Guess I'm the only one that's not seen this. You watching me change, you crap fuck? Hope you like what you're seeing. Wait, that's not the right voice. No, I'll get it.
It's been a confusing day. How do I...
We probably have a problem.
How many? We could
But
add it to the pile.
Besides you disappearing, poofing into midair. Right.
Yeah, that was pretty fucked up. But
From my where I was watching, yeah.
I'm glad to see that you're okay. I had to kill a police officer.
Sometimes
I know I said, and he kind of looks at Kate. I know I said I had this, but somehow he spotted me, and I pretty much had a shitstorm. However, there's a good side to this. We know that
Every shitstorm has a silver lining, Mr. Burke.
I'm trying to look at it, definitely, because it was a complete fuck up.
Okay, please, I could use some good news. So a silver lining would be great.
The big guy, the big Nazi, Albin Schlieffen, or whatever, Albin, whatever.
Schlieffen. Did I get
Albin
it?
Schlieffen,
Greta.
yeah, that
Greta.
guy.
Yes, I got it.
Yeah, I've been sleeping. Yeah.
He comes pretty regularly, apparently, to the Reich, and he rolls up with, he's deep. He's deep with guards, and he is very menacing and potentially dangerous.
Don't leave out the best part. They knew where he was and was coming after him, and he disappeared in a poof of nothingness. And Abendschleben, do any of you recall what happened that first night we met Pete Abraham?
Yeah.
At the hotel?
Yeah, there was more of that.
Are you
People
referring
freezing.
to...
Yes.
What did he do? Was he moving his arms? Did he call something out? How many people did it affect?
Yeah, everyone, as far as I could tell. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure those birds are dead. They fell good ways.
Okay.
He told everyone to lie down, and they did.
How long did it take? Was it like an instant? Did it?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Great. Good. So,
Not to interrupt your story, Mr. Burke, but when we do fight or deal with Abendschleben, yeah, we should probably do it very quickly before he notices that we are there.
Great question for you. Do I still have the the Parsons amulet?
Yes.
Did it come with me? And I presume it's back to its sort of normal 4 or 5 inch size.
Correct. Yes.
So as I'm saying this, I'm kind of putting the amulet back over my head and tucking it down under my top. Now, y'all, I don't know about you, but I'm sick and tired of playing this game by other people's rules or at the whimsy of some or every vainglorious entity in the universe in its higher dimensions. I think it's time to take the bull by the horns. Now, here's what we're gonna do. And with that, Kate takes out the notebook that's in her pocket. And she starts to write on it. The idea here, I don't know how you want to play this, Greg, but I'm a little bit nervous about speaking our plans out loud just for the possibility that we might be observed. And I don't trust Dietrich enough to that I want him to see what we're planning to do.
Okay.
So
you're gonna write it on
Yes.
on paper and show it to people, like
Uh-huh.
kind of like peekaboo type stuff.
Yeah.
Sure.
That little verbal thing, that's because this is a super smart idea, right? I just want to.
No, it's interesting. I tell you what, if it makes you feel any better, why don't you roll a luck roll for me?
If you're saying we don't have to do that, then.
Well, I'm not going to meditate. You saw what you saw, and I understand the concern and the need for, taking precautions. And I'm not poo-pooing that at all. I'm actually thinking of things that are going on in the background. So let's make a luck roll here.
You want me to make a luck roll?
Yeah.
Can I crit the luck roll?
You have crits?
Yeah, so do I. So what we're going to do is you can either burn it or we can straight roll these, as I am going to roll one. I rolled a 63.
All right then, I suppose.
Oh.
I rolled a 95.
So, by the way, we have had some crits come in. The Strider, Elijah is up to 3, and Dwight is up to 3 now because Katie just gave some, and Sabella is up to 6.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, everybody, very, very much. So, Allison, as far as Kate's concerned, she is being very, very cautious.
Okay. So here's what she's writing. The idea here is that from this point forward in Berlin, our number one priority is figuring out how it is that that the Nazis have been able to kind of disable or limit the effectiveness of Sabella's psychic abilities, this Shroud Protocol. What Kate's idea is that this Ms. Schmidt, who is apparently some kind of high priestess for the Ministry of the Cult, may hold the key. This is a sort of a hunch, but she's going with it. And so we're going to try to get to her and capture her if we can, so that we can interrogate her.
Okay, you convey all this in like flips of your notebook, correct? Like you're giving peeks to like one of them at a time.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Absolutely.
Okay.
And the way that you're describing that, not to try to like lead you or blow smoke, that would be very difficult for even somebody present to be able to do, or to be able to observe or look over your shoulder. So, just because rolls go a certain way, don't think that it's necessarily a failure. I could be being a dick about something else.
That would shock me.
I like the idea.
It shocks me too. Okay, so you guys are going after Maxine Schmidt. Are you doing anything else?
Well, it's night time. Are we going now, Katie, or are we going in the morning?
No, I think if there are things that we can or should do before we leave the safe house, we need to get those things done as soon as possible. I would not, and she kind of looks around at the whole group here. I would not plan on coming back here.
Okay, Greta, I know, yes, I see you inching back toward that lab. Can I see your notes again? I feel much calmer and level-headed now. You're muted, but I feel like you're conveying yes to me.
It's like, yeah, you feel much less.
I'm less flustered.
She'll hand you the notes.
Thank you. I just want to look through these regarding the Shroud Protocol for any more details on if it's a group or a person or an item. I'm just looking for more details.
Okay, and to recap what Greta found out last time when she was reading through both the Ballantine Ale invoices that she had cracked the code for, was that the Nazis had been using maybe Ballantine Ale or their operatives in the city to track you all. However, when being able to drill down and break the code, Greta found out that the tracking was being done by something called the Shroud Protocol, which was tracking, of all people, Sabella. And if they could get close enough to Sabella, and I believe we said within 10 miles or so, they would be able to diminish her power by that turpentine stamp that Sabella had been experiencing when trying to read items or use her psychic abilities, can now seemingly be attributed to this Shroud Protocol. Let's see, you were able to say that. I think that was just about it. She also found out that there were 3 separate factions currently at work inside the Nazi regime. Dietrich Prime and his 200, the other Dietrichs and Hitler, and then the Ministry of the Occult and its power base. Beyond that, though, roll me a library use or library skills here to see if we can glean any additional information that Greta might just not have noticed.
Because of what happened last time when I did this, I'm just gonna crit it. That's what's happening.
Okay, so you are going to crit that. You don't get any additional information other than this. And it has nothing to do with, Greta came across several different references that kind of didn't pinpoint a specific thing with the Shroud Protocol. Depicting at one point an item, another point a person. You find more references, a secondary reference that seems to name a person. Or at least a being.
Names it?
It names it as a being. Not as a, doesn't give like a proper noun.
Okay. All right. We are looking for a person or something that must have it must have been in New York.
Is that the only place you were experiencing the turpentine?
To my and Lauren's recollection, yes. Yeah, because the first time was in, and I just kind of clenched my fist real quick, was in an apartment that we went to, Kate. And everything else was there. So I think your idea, it definitely wouldn't be bad to check up on.
And Sabella, if I understood what you were saying right, you're able to have some sort of a sense of direction toward whatever it is that's having this effect on you. Is that right?
I knew at one point that it was coming from somewhere east.
Well, if that holds, then we ought to be able to triangulate position if we could take, or if you could take readings from three different locations. As long as they were angularly dispersed enough, then we'd have an idea of exactly what we were looking for.
I nod and pretend like I followed that. Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm kind of also, continuing to try to communicate in ways that, in writing like this, that Dietrich, if he's watching, can't see.
You were not speaking there? This has all gone through communication through the notebook?
Yeah. Yeah.
Greta's just gonna walk over, like hand a beaker to Sabella.
That
take
certainly
the
sounded
notebook.
like a conversation, especially like the exchanges with Lindy and stuff.
It did.
I mean, there was. Ooh, we lost a Strider.
We lost
Ooh.
Strider. As soon as he gets back, the cameras will pop back in. So everybody
I
bear
was
with us as tech
Picking
issues.
my words carefully.
You were,
Yeah.
yeah. I was noting what you were saying, but I wanted to make
Yeah.
sure it was all verbal, correct?
Yeah, it was
Like,
for me.
You said at one point
Okay.
you said shroud, right? You guys, the shroud was mentioned as.
Pretty sure they didn't
part-
say that.
You're pretty sure. Thanks.
Watch the
everybody-
tape back later.
Everybody. Oh, it was close enough. Everybody, roll a spot hidden for me.
Okay.
Everybody.
That's a 1.
Critical.
It's
Hard!
a
This
1.
has made a hard success. Normally I don't see shit.
Critical.
That-
That's a what we call a 1. You
And-
fumbled, so I hope this is like a plethora of things.
Yeah, give me everything, Greg. I want good things to happen to me.
Okay, so it is very fitting that
Me.
Greta, you noticed this as well, but
Not to the extent that Sabella does, yeah.
not to the extent that Sabella's kind of the first one to get it, and we'll say that perhaps when Sabella sees this, it drags your eyes and kind of, you notice the movement at first, and then it kind of drills in. I will also let you guys know that we had Catalyst was donated a little money to make things a little crazy in the membrane, so we'll be working on that just making sure I let everybody know, my beloved Olympians. And thank you, Catalyst. Strider should be back. There he is.
Woo!
Everything is right in the world. Hello, brother. So, Sabella, as you kind of look away during this, just the general movement of a conversation, as your head tracks to the left and to the right, and you're thinking and contemplating this problem that you're having, when did it first happen, where was it, blah, 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 and the idea of this type of tracking that you figured out it was a being of some kind, you see on the glass, it begins to fog up in a corner of the window, and then it recedes a bit, and then it fogs up again, and you see written in the window LOUIS.
And I noticed this too.
Yep.
See, do I notice it as well?
Well,
You notice it as much as Lindy does, as much as Greta does.
I turn to the window and very angrily say, "Thank you."
Just above that, as it's fading, another kind of frost appears, and you see WELCOME.
Well, that's just peachy.
What are you talking about?
So, Katie, oh, I don't want to. Someone just suggested who the being may be, and it's really good. I'm having so many regrets in such a short span of time.
It's somebody you know.
Well, someone seems to think it is, because someone thinks he's so smart. Yes. Grandpa.
And Kate looks noticeably crestfallen with that. But why would that be?
I have no idea. Either, I mean, I can think of several ideas. Either he's been captured, or he is the same old man he always was. Or something's been done to him. But I am so glad that Mr. Sawyer convinced me to switch something a little while ago. That's good. That's good. Okay, well, I have something that I could maybe, it's gonna be difficult, obviously, but maybe could help track him. And I just, still with my gloves on, pull out a necklace that has a man's ring on the end of it. This is all I really have from him, besides that box. Okay, well, I'm gonna work on that since I'm done my reading for the evening. Glare at the corner. Toss my hair. Walk back into the bedroom. Sit down and cross my arms for a second.
So with a silent harumph, what would the rest of you like to do?
Dwight stops Kate and Greta and whoever's and Sawyer, if they're all there. Listen, we need to look at the paper tomorrow and what's going on. I don't know who identified. I hope they didn't identify me, but if they did, we have a major problem.
I know it, Mr. Burke. I know it.
Yeah, he's concerned about that, and he will continue to spot hidden out the window. Dwight's going to continue to look to see what's going on around him.
So as Dwight takes watch, the rest?
So many samples, so little time.
Prioritize.
I know.
It's hard.
I think what Greta's gonna do first, she's only gonna sleep for 3 hours tonight because that's 2 full REM cycles, and she's gonna take a break between each one of them. It's just be a 90-minute nap, and then a few hours later another 90-minute nap, and then she'll be fine. She's scienced this out before for previous work.
I will allow you to do that. I'll allow you to do that in one 48-hour period, but if you back to back it, I'm going to start adding exhaustion.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fine.
I like how you're going. I like the way you think,
rest
Lindy.
The night before, so this will be her first. Yeah. This is how she got research done for her at her last job. So she's gonna pull out. Let's see. I think the most deteriorated thing. She's gonna look at that first. She's gonna look at Dietrich's blood sample, actually.
Okay,
she
and
wants
this is
to examine that.
Right, this is the Dietrich that. Which sample were you looking at? Because didn't you have 2?
I do have two. I already looked at the other one. And this is actually the one that's like nicely framed in the glass plate, so I can just slide it under a microscope.
Right, now is this the one that you guys were gifted in Borneo to take to? Okay.
Yes. I want to look at that one first.
Okay, when you take this one out and put it in there, it is identical to the one that you looked at before as far as the base test that you're going through. And in your microscope, you are also able to see that this is carrying the yellow death. It is now dormant.
Is it?
But
Okay.
it is, it's been expended for the long past its life cycle. And so
Okay.
it's dead, but it's, residue of it is still
dormant.
available. Correct.
Excellent. I still have the test tube from the thing too. Can I look and compare it to my other yellow death sample? That should be dormant as well. Do I think I could activate it?
Make a medicine check for me.
You cray, girl. I love it. You cray.
Sure. Medicine check. Success.
Not with this lab, but you think you could.
Okay. Just thinking while we're in Nazi Germany.
Why not? Why not? Just
I'm sorry, Herr Obenschliefen. I didn't mean to get this all over you.
that's so crazy. This is
like-
the best plan I've ever heard. I love it so much.
Wait, quick, Ozzy, what's the German word for 12? Well, how do you say 12 monkeys in German?
But yeah, so that was a fun thought. She's just gonna keep that on the back burner. She's gonna theorize ways she could activate it, so that if she does get access to a lab, she could do it quickly if she needed to. All right. So I guess that's my first thing is make sure the samples are the same, and then the yellow death. The next thing, I have some brains in a champagne glass. Do I think those are still researchable, or has it been a little too long?
You no longer have brains in a research glass or a champagne glass. You have something that
juice.
looks like old dried pudding in a
No.
research or in a
I'll
champagne
put it to the
glass.
side in case I have extra time, but I guess I'll go to, I'm gonna look at Mr. Herr Hans's hand. I'm gonna see
Okay.
if he's all juiced up or something beyond the normal human being.
What are you
Or if it's
looking
just-
for?
Abnormalities. Something that would suggest he's super, because we're all kind of have abnormalities, mine being my ridiculously large and wonderfully talented brain. But we all kind of are really good at something. I want to see if he has anything about him that's just off. Like this shouldn't be this way.
The one kind of takes interest in that.
I
You have
think-
no idea whose hand this is. Well, I guess
think
it isn't
I
that really
would've-
pale because it's an albino's.
Well, it's also
Anyway, I'm sure
no
you can
longer
tell it.
attached, so
We're
it's
not,
going to be
like,
pale
talking.
no matter what.
It's true. Got a really, really fucking pale hand.
I don't remember if you were there, Greta, but I probably would have mentioned it at some point that when I tried to attack him, he blasted me back.
Yeah.
I don't
I'm
remember exactly when in Bolivia that was.
I'm gonna look and see if he's got anything abnormal about his and whatever blood is left in there. Bone density. Just start dissecting, cutting open that hand. I'm really gonna study it, see if I can glean anything about him.
Okay, here's how I'm going to play this. You have one roll here with your medicine check.
Okay.
If you roll an extreme, I'll let you know now what it is. If you roll a hard, you're going to have to wait like another 12 hours, then try it again and roll another hard. It's going to take 2 hards or an extreme.
Or an extreme.
Mhm.
Let's just use a crit. I want to learn about this guy because he got away. Wow, he's handless on one hand, but he still has another hand.
He's
And
handless on the one hand, right?
yeah, on the one hand. Ha, that's it.
And fuck that guy.
Okay, so as you are looking through this and as you had initial, being the scientist doctor that you are, you had initial readings that you told me you did a cursory evaluation of it when you got back to the library or the
I did.
bookstore. It takes you a minute and you kind of delve into your work, checking the bone, checking blood samples, any type of tissue that you can pull
Humming some
from it.
classical music the whole time.
Loving it. It's not until you kind of are deep, maybe an hour, 2.5 hours into this, that you realize that what is the most glaring abnormality about this specific specimen is staring directly in your face. The original measurements that you had for this are off now. The hand itself seems to travel farther up the wrist than it did before.
It's like it's regenerating.
Maybe.
We gotta blow this guy.
Like there's a good bit more wrist than there was. I want to see. I want to take all of it, like bone, tissue, sinew, or is it just like specifically? Is it everything? It's kind of doing that.
It almost looks as if the part where you severed it is staying the exact same. It's just kind of getting wider as the skin and the tissue beneath it are reforming. So it's like the area of contact remains the same, but it's growing wider as it would presumably be crawling up the forearm area.
Okay.
You can't see the point at which it's not building at the top. It's not building at the wound. It's building somewhere beneath.
Okay. I did cut out for a minute there, or for like a good 20 seconds there, but I think I got what you're saying.
Yeah, it's not growing from the spot of the cut. It seems to be growing somewhere beneath that area and building off of. So it's not building from the top floor off, it's building from the third floor and pushing the top floor higher, if that makes sense.
Okay. That is a bit odd. I'm definitely gonna take like one of the fingers off and keep it separate and see it, and just keep for observation sake, see if it starts to regenerate that as well. Seeing if it just multiple sever points, if it keeps doing its thing, he might have a hand when we next see him again, based off this observation. And also I want to see how much time do I have left of study.
I'll give you an hour.
God, an hour. Gross.
Elijah doesn't have anything better to be doing, and he does have some college experience and knows the scientific method at least. He's just going to be spending his time trying to help Greta if that can give her an extra role or something in there. That's all he's going to be doing.
Okay.
What do you tell me what you want to do, Greta, and I can tell you how Strider, if he can help.
Well, if I have an assistant. I'm gonna cut off the finger for sure, see if the phenomenon continues at that. But I also want to take, I really want to see if I can replicate this on somebody else, or if I can replicate this into a serum, because I have that quick healing serum. Can I make a couple drops of the Heilkrafte and kind of inject that into the severed finger and see what happens?
Okay, so you're going to sever the finger and then inject it? Sure.
I want to see if that expedites whatever it's doing. I want to see the kind of effect that has. And if it shows any effect, I want to see if I can maybe graft some other tissue onto it and replicate its effects.
Okay, so this is the beginning of a very long process. So
yeah, this has really piqued her interest, and I don't have my brains anymore. So
okay, so what we'll say here is roll me a medicine check. Nothing that you do at this point in time, however, will progress your research. This is a kind of thing that you've got to do and then kind of let it sit for a while. There's no rushing time here. Yeah, that's an extreme.
Yep. And does the finger show any immediate reaction to the Heilkrafte? Because that's a really quick working one. A couple drops of that.
You see nothing when it's put in.
Okay. Well, then I'll just keep it under observation and get ready to go get bandages and morphine and stuff ready for these people for when we leave.
Okay. All right. And Katie, I'm never defeated by an extreme. You should know that by now. Okay, so as you guys are set forward, if there's anything else you want to do this evening, let me know before we hand wave to the morning. Yep.
I know it's not going to yield its usual results, but I'm going to do a full psychometry ritual on that ring.
Okay. go ahead and roll some psychometry.
I shan't. I will use another crit because normal does nothing on those anymore. I want to know.
Okay.
Before I do it, though, close the door behind me and I put like a towel on the bed because I don't want to touch that. And I look around the room again. Then I will do it.
Okay. So as you perform a full psychometry ritual, like this is old school Sabella?
Yeah, I mean she doesn't have her music. But yep, she takes off her clothes and her gloves and lies back on a towel on the bed and is going to concentrate and hum to herself.
Okay, you concentrate and hum to yourself, and as you're kind of slipping into your psychometry and you have contact with the ring, you feel the bed move beside you as by your shoulder Dietrich Prime is looking at the ring in your hands as he is lying there as well. What are you looking at? This ring? Is this your grandfather's?
You are so astute.
By the way,
Yes.
your powers are not working, Miss Ives. This is mine.
At all now?
I'm afraid not.
That is vexing.
It vexes me as well.
Oh, I'm sure. Because
It
you're so
does.
concerned for my well-being.
Well, we must stick up for one another.
Uh-huh. How... Why do you think it's him?
Because they were speaking about it when they realized what you were. Your grandfather was a closest living relative to you even back in this time. They have been watching you for a while, Miss Ives.
Fun. Do you know where he is? Because that would be very helpful, and I very much appreciate it.
I am not when you are.
Yes.
I will
bright
certainly
ideas?
help you. Well, no, if I am still living, I will certainly help you in your time.
You're not with us.
But I will help you if I am.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
Why are you after Ruby Foster?
she is the greatest among us. You do not need your powers to believe me, do you?
No, just wondering why in particular.
What is death?
Boy. Absence of life?
Yeah. Some may say it is the greatest disease known to mankind. And what can Ruby Foster do?
Stop it, or at least put it off.
She can cure any disease.
Are you dying?
That is an interesting question. aren't we all?
You know what I mean.
Yes.
We're not gonna let you hurt her.
I have no wish to hurt Ruby. I wish to protect her. You might say from myself.
Okay, well, this has been illuminating as always. Could you can you turn around, please?
You do realize that I am over a decade behind you.
Just humor me. I need a little humor in my life.
No, you don't.
Fine, I will just put on my clothes. I ain't ashamed of nothing. I don't say that out loud. Okay, I'm going to leave now.
He gestures towards the door.
That's where I'm going.
Do you wish the ring? And he still has it in his hand.
Yes.
He flips it to you.
Good night.
Yes, it was.
I leave. I harumph and pout into the next room. There's nowhere to go in this apartment. Someone else talk.
All right. So for the remainder of the night, Kate is doing a couple of things other than sleeping. Greg, one is if there's anything more, having now used the amulet, if there's anything more that I can learn about it, I want to be able to I want to give that a shot.
Sure, absolutely. How do you want to go about this, Allison? Do you want Kate to just like observe and kind of do physical tests to it, like measure it, look at it, kind of record detail, or do you want to do like, for lack of a better term, you know, the business term, occulty stuff? Do you want to try to see if you can see if any of the lines or runes are identifiable to you, or do you want to go that route? Are you trying to go like spiritual or physical?
I think Kate is probably trying to take the bit of occult information that she has and combine that along with her kind of her regular sphere of expertise, which is the sciences, and see what she can come up with.
Okay, make an occult roll for me.
Credit.
Somehow I knew that was coming.
We're all scared of our sheets from 2 weeks ago, Greg.
Okay, so with this crit, you will be happy to know, Miss O'Callahan, that whatever it was that Mr. Parsons did with this particular amulet, he housed a great deal of his power inside of it. It was a gift to you, not just of jewelry or potential, but of a piece of himself. Also, it gives you the ability now to create fog. For the cost of 2 magic points, this is the mechanical version, the cost of 2 magic points, you can create a 50-yard by 50-yard cube of fog that is 4 to 6 feet in height. It smells of the Malibu marine layer and of the weather outside of his beach house.
Why, Jack, you shouldn't have. Okay. Two other things. One, any maintenance that needs done on the jetpack so that it's fueled and ready to go.
It seems like it's ready to go. You were able to, whenever you guys received the jetpack, it came with several cubes of that, like the rectangular bricks of that that green material. Those are all able to be kept inside the jetpack proper in separate pockets and compartments until such time as they're added into the fuel source for it. You think that with the first of the 4 packs, that it's about 25% used. So you think that the burn equal to what you've used so far takes about a quarter of it off per use if you were to guess.
Okay. And presumably I can't be using it while I refuel it with those other cubes, right?
Right. It looks like it's once you kind of insert the existing cube, it burns until completion.
Okay, last thing then is, and I'm going to do this specifically right after Sabella goes into the bedroom to do her psychometry reading, with the assumption that if Dietrich's watching, he's going to be watching her, and that he can't watch 2 things at the same time. So she's pulling out all of the maps and charts that she can find, and looking at 2 things. One, different airfields in Berlin, particularly those that might be closest to the museum. And 2, she's making in her own head a flight plan for London.
Okay. The closest one you would find would be to the north of Berlin. At this time, inside Berlin proper, there aren't any like city limits type of airports. The only type of place that would be considered as such would be the place we could get like a dirigible, like a Zeppelin. They're able to come into the city and land, and you can, board them, the passenger Zeppelins, and take them to points around Europe. But actual airplanes, there's a site north. But upon your observations and readings of the maps provided to you by presumably Dietrich Prime, every one of them is labeled in his, what you assume to be his own hand, as Nazi controlled.
Oh. Well, the whole damn city's Nazi controlled. I'm not sure how that's supposed to turn me off here a bit.
These are specifically noted, so it looks like he means military units.
Oh, even better. Excellent. Okay. How far away from the museum is it?
The museum is in the center of the town at a place called, conveniently, Museum Island. And it's between 2 rivers that are connected by a bridge. It's not really an island. It's more of kind of like a jut-out peninsula in the middle. It's like 3 rivers in Pittsburgh. But in that area, from that point, you're looking at about another 30 miles north.
Fuck, 30 miles. Okay.
A quick question. Can I look at the cross that you gave me and the power that apparently appeared when we were fighting the Gog, when the shit come on me? Can I examine it? Like Dwight would probably look at it, fool around with it in any shape or form.
Why don't you roll a spot hidden for me? For this one, since there isn't a smell test, you are kind of looking around, and it's a while before you realize that there is almost like a waft coming off of this whenever you kind of move it around. And it's a smell that Dwight Burke unfortunately knows all too well. And as you're able to smell it, you realize that it smells very strongly of blood.
As he smells it, any recollection, anything that he would know off the top of his head?
Blood.
Blood. Just blood. Okay. Well, he'll hold it, and, he kind of squeezes it tight. Anything, puts it close to his chest.
I mean, other than that,
Nothing.
it feels. Yep.
Got it.
Okay, guys. Night falls. Morning rises in the city of Berlin, and you are all looking for one Maxine Schmidt, presumably the linchpin to the Ministry of the Occult's research, or at least the linchpin that you have been pointed to by Dietrich Prime.
Elijah's going to elect himself in charge of disguising everyone and picking out outfits and stuff before we go out.
I assume that that's what he's been doing as he's been, like, trying things on, kind of getting things set. Is that what? Okay.
Not wearing a dress.
And
While
since
he
you have...
disguises everybody and we eat breakfast, Greta's looking at the snake gun because she's a multitasker.
Okay. As you have been working on this for quite some time, Mr. Sawyer, please roll a disguise roll with advantage because you spent a good 12 hours on this.
I already get advantage on disguise rolls. Can I have double advantage?
You can have double advantage. You may roll 4 times and take the best because I'm really benevolent, I am.
Oh, you're so nice.
That is some kind of...
Oh,
Go with what you want, man.
So on double secret advantage, you received a 3, which is extreme. So how would you like everyone to look after you have mannequined up the dresses and the suits and the
How do we
uniforms?
look, Strider?
Look, Strider.
Elijah is the quintessential hot German woman at the time. I don't know about the rest of you. You can...
No, you gotta disguise us, Strider.
Oh,
You got to
that's
disguise
That's on
them.
you, bro.
Elijah was ready. Strider's not. I'll think on it.
Well, here, let me look at this snake gun and give you literally 2 minutes to think about it. Have fun. Start a countdown.
What do you want to know about the snake gun?
Okay, so I have actually like 3 of them to study. I'm gonna see if there's any immediate differences between the one I got from Valentine Ale and then the one that Strider or Dwight and Elijah gave her, or if they all look identical.
Yours has blue eyes. No roll required.
Ooh. Okay, that's interesting. That's really interesting. Kind of scary. And then because I've been told that they bite people, I'm gonna stick Hans Gruber's hand and like at some of the mouth. I'm not getting bit. No, I'm gonna stick the finger. I'm gonna stick the finger that I have from the needle tooth guy. I'm gonna kind of like stick it in some of the mouth to see if it bites, so I can get a venom sample if these things actually do bite. Nope. Okay.
Nope.
Let's see if there's any way this thing comes apart, or if it's actually just one big piece. See mechanically. I want to see how mechanically it works. I'll figure something out.
Okay, so with the advantage...
Oh, and does the blue eye one still try to get towards me? Does it still want on my hand? Or is it done?
It does not seem to latch onto you.
Okay. I was really worried about that. Now that the brain mist is off me, good. Cool. There's
Yeah, I gotta make sure we got things coming in here. Hold on. Something dank AF. Alrighty. I can do this.
AF fam.
Love it so much, chat. You guys are the best. Okay, so you guys are getting ready to go. How is everybody dressed? You can be you guys have the uniforms of any institution inside Berlin, as well as any conceivable suit, dress combination that you would need in all sizes. So just tell me what you would like to be if you're changing hair color. With Elijah's role, you can do it however you'd like it. I mean, you guys going like completely different from, is everyone like changing hair color? Is everyone, trying to, make themselves look different, or just
He's going to shave completely. He's going to shave his head, shave everything.
Okay. Dwight is shorn.
Yeah, that's what he does. He shaves everything.
I just go based off of
everything.
what Greta does. So I'm really
You've never
trying-
seen something as beautiful as a shorn scrotum. What? Go ahead.
No, think I'm
Yeah.
done. I'm done.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not talking eyebrows, you fucking crazy. Yes, I'm talking like.
I was talking about his scrotum.
I know what
so-
you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
Oh,
Fucking Jesus Christ! I apparently have explained literally everything.
yes. The role-playing game.
I know. I get it.
Let's go around and see how everyone felt about the episode tonight.
Okay,
That
so
was a bang-up job.
we will just
Frankly, I
say
like the
this.
scrotum.
If you guys have to make disguise rolls, this is how the mechanic will work. Regardless of what you look like, if you're dressed as some type of city worker or have a uniform on, I need to know that before you leave. If you're dressed like a pedestrian, go right ahead, because that's nothing that will give you any type of advantage of getting into like a maintenance area or something like that.
What does the paper say, bro? Can we
Oh,
pull
yeah.
paper in?
Hold on one second.
All right.
And so, as you guys are going through all that, if I ask you to make a disguise roll at any point during your infiltration of the museum or you're walking through the museum, remember that you will do so with advantage because this is a hellaciously good disguise. So, if it's asked, remind your dear keeper, as he is old, that you need to do it with advantage. The paper says nothing. There's no mention of any incident in the park outside the Reichstag
Blank
building.
paper.
Yeah, it's just blank. Yeah,
Says
it's blank.
nothing.
It just has.
Sorry.
It just says.
Nothing.
It says it says news on every page.
That's
Right.
not
That's
good.
all?
That's not good. That's not good.
Hey, Greg, one related to disguises, you said something about uniforms. Are we playing this real world or are we playing it Indiana Jones style where a woman could conceivably be wearing a Nazi officer uniform?
We are playing this Greg style, and Greg style plays it Indiana Jones style, where
Yeah,
yes,
that's what I thought. Yeah, so Kate is Kate's got black hair, black wig, and is in a really sharp Nazi Luftwaffe officer's uniform.
Oh no, I need new fan art now.
What would I dress as, Sawyer?
We're gonna plump you up. We're gonna stuff your leader hosen all full of pillow fluff. And
Okay. I will go as the cook.
I don't know if this is gonna be a cook in a museum.
All right. Well,
I'll make sure that you fit in.
you guys walk in like a nursery rhyme. You know, there's a cook, a baker, a candlestick maker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the baker. That's where I was trying to do. We're in a
How does Elijah dress up Greta and Isabella?
You're making me come up with this?
Yeah.
Honestly, I think Sabella and Kate should be matching. Like little pair outfits.
I don't know that I can pull that off, Elijah.
Someone here needs to be part of a pair. Just dynamics. That's how it works. It's either you and Greta or you and Kate.
Maybe me and Greta. I mean, if anything, shouldn't the German speaker maybe be in some kind of uniform?
Everybody roll a spot hidden except for Sabella.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yes.
Wow.
This is not something that all of you miss. I just want to know who gets it first, and it's Dwight. Mid-sentence, Sabella started speaking in German.
What the fuck did you just say?
I said that maybe the German speaker should be in a uniform, Dwight.
Greta,
Dwight
she is
kinda,
speaking
like,
in.
shake his head like what?
I'm gonna like just address her in German and be like, how long have you known how to speak German?
Do I understand her?
Yep.
I don't speak German.
Greta actually looks like her eyes are like she's holding a snake gun and she was just like looking at it and then was like,
Dwight
how
says,
long
"Look
have you
at
known
the
how to speak
sky."
German? Like
Dwight says
I've
the
been
sky
saying
is like,
stuff under
what
my
in
breath
the
this whole
fuck is
time about
going
all
on?
of you. Like
I speak French and Latin, Greta.
We are speaking German now.
You're speaking German, Sabella. I have no clue what you're saying.
I know what you're saying better than I usually do.
What did she say?
Look over at the window and glare.
There's already a frost mark on it, and it says ring. Your grandfather's ring is on your finger.
Ah.
And it looks dank as fuck.
I feel bad for you.
It's getting lit in here.
Okay. No. Okay.
Is she saying okay in German?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I died, didn't I? I died, and I went to hell, and you were all some kind of weird cosmic torch.
Elijah, you are not dead yet.
Yes.
This is all some kind of karma punishment system.
Wait,
I'm definitely dead.
Am I finally saying Alvin's leaving right, Greta? Am I finally?
Yeah, you're pronouncing everything correctly right now.
Oh, this is.
It is not sure if it is more or less of a headache.
This is like a fungus in this place. We're all going to be German here at the end of this thing.
I wish.
You think it's contagious?
I'm starting to think it is contagious. Fuck you, Dietrich.
That's why there's so many.
Dwight's like screaming.
That's why there's so many Dietrichs.
Fuck him. I'm not shushing.
White.
Don't think
Shut
that was
up.
time.
Okay. Well, great.
You're still German. I can't understand you.
Great. Can I speak English?
Did you take the ring off?
Oh fuck. No.
Don't worry, I will translate for you. She's cussing a lot.
I do not curse much.
Did she take the ring off?
She's denying
No.
cussing.
I'm having a great time watching your face.
Yeah, Dwight's probably white
You
now.
can tell my
It's like this is fucking everything is like. Why does it? It's like the train of fucking crazy shit continues.
Dwight, some of that sounded pretty German, man.
Okay. Okay. You want me to put on a uniform?
I think you could pull it off at this point. You're speaking quite fluent.
I mean, are there
sorry.
skirts or are there just pants?
There are both.
Oh, great. I will take a skirted one.
Okay. So, two Nazi
I'm not gonna be
officers,
fluffed up.
a plumped up bald baker. We have
Would you like some bratwurst?
Strider looking sassy, and what is Greta dressed? How is Greta dressed?
All right, whatever.
We thought we were gonna get out of
Greta
the
wants Elijah to pick. Greta's just sitting back. She's got.
I'm gonna be
She
people's
actually
worst
has.
nightmare.
She's actually like just sitting there with the snake gun, and she has her feet kicked up on like her science lab desk. She knocks everything off of her real desk.
I think that's my snake gun.
So, Greta,
Yeah,
are you
can
going?
have it.
Are you
can
going?
have it.
Greta, are you going as yourself?
Oh no!
Full
Not as herself.
makeover. None of it's actually like costume makeup like some of the other stuff might be considered. That's just makeover, wig or hair dye. Pretty. You're gonna need to cover up that scar area, hands.
Yeah, it's all the way up like to her shoulder.
Long sleeves, gloves. We will be the femme fatales.
I like it. All right. What color hair?
What the hell?
Am I brunette or redhead now?
I mean, we should probably be blonde. Or wait, are you normally?
I'm normally blonde.
She's like platinum.
Yeah,
all
I
blonde.
am the height of
We're all
like
blondes.
They're all blonde.
Aryan perfection, except for this scarred arm.
I wanted to grow a beard. I got really
That's right.
screwed out of this whole deal.
We'll trade. I'll do blonde. You can be like
A big beard.
like brunette-ish.
Sure.
Okay,
Guys,
so
gonna brunette?
Like
Guys,
a real big beard.
I'm gonna be the bombshells.
Mm-hmm.
We thought we were gonna get out of the door.
That goddamn fumble.
Jesus Christ. you're on a mute watch, buddy. I was gonna warn you. Okay, so yeah, you
10
are.
years from now.
Okay, so you guys all get together and you're heading towards Museum Island, correct? One of the potential places for the Kaiser Friedrich Museum, one of the potential spots for Maxine Schmidt, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Okie dokie. We're going to say that as you are currently dressed, as you are you guys doing what Kate suggested and taking everything that you would like with you in the event that you do not return to the apartment? And if you are leaving anything, as I've said before, I assume you're always taking your favorite stuff. If you're leaving something behind that you don't want to get taken if you get caught, let me know what you're leaving here in Casa de Dietrich.
Oh. No, we're never coming back.
Nothing.
I want to say Greta's just dragging the lab table out.
I'm like
with
shaking
them,
my head.
but
I'm repeatedly
can't
shaking
do
my head
that.
here.
I'm just wondering. If I should leave one of these. One of the watches. I still don't exactly know what they do, except.
If you don't want to leave one, you could always hand one to a different person at the party.
Mm-hmm.
Like that look you gave Lauren, like in your dreams. Like
I was doing that to Steven in particular.
I'm so
I know, I
this
saw
is
that.
disrespectful.
It's right next to each other, my own camera feed.
I'll think about it in the cab, or however we're getting there on the walk. Either or.
Okay. So as you guys are rolling,
Yeah, I don't want to anything.
I'm assuming you're taking everything
I'll
with you?
leave a snake gun.
My God, you people. Shit or get off the pot. We're trying to get to a goddamn museum.
Literally.
Yes, I
You're
know,
right.
You wanted me to leave. I'm leaving a snake gun.
We're trying
Okay.
to be careful, Greg.
I know, but time is of the essence. World needs saving. Let's go, Olympians. No, I'm joking. So you're leaving a snake gun behind? I'm not. You're leaving a snake gun behind, and what else did you say you were leaving? One of the watches, or you're going to decide who to give the watch to en route to the museum?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't wanna
If you make a decision, just let me know. You can do it quietly, like if you want to like whisper to me in Zoom or something, if it's kind of a sneaky, or just mention it.
I'm that subtle.
Okay. You guys get to Museum Island. It is exactly what you would think. It is a narrow strip of land in between two rivers that are connected by various bridges in roughly the middle of Berlin. In fact, I should be able to give you a bit of a ping if you're on Roll20. Ping.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Ping. There you go.
Cool.
Ping me, baby.
So as you are there, you see that these buildings are very ancient structures. Even though this is 1933, these buildings have probably been around for 100 years, longer in many instances. And they're big. They're very large structures, with 3 and 4 stories tall. They're obviously of a museum type of quality. They do not have windows at the second or third or fourth level, for light control, for things like paintings or things that might be affected by the sun. What you can also notice during all of this is there is a large amount of refurbishment that seems to be going on, as probably very historic structure and elements like gargoyles and things like that on the outside of the more Gothic buildings are being replaced by what look like elements of the Third Reich. You see like eagles that are on top of iron crosses. Not any swastika per se, but it's everything is very like a nationalistic fervor. This is probably something that began before the Nazis really took over everything, and there was a bit of a struggle between the communists and the Nazi party inside Germany. So everything has a very strong German vibe to it. It's not necessarily swung so far as to incorporate the Nazi element yet, but there is a tremendous amount of this going on. as you see scaffolding and structures all along many of these older buildings. It is pretty crowded in this area as well, with pedestrian traffic kind of being forced over into the streets, as a lot of the scaffolding is kind of occupying what normally would have been the thoroughfare through this particular area of town. Also, as is the wont in many European cities, especially ones with very old buildings, the streets are incredibly narrow, not really having been built for motor carriage traffic or automobile. Yet automobile traffic there is, as the shrill honks of some of these earlier automobiles from, the 20s and whatnot are coming through these, puttering through this area, the sound bouncing off of these stone structures and the scaffolding and creating quite a cacophony as you all kind of drop down in this city within a city inside of the Nazi Empire. It does not take you long before you are able to find the outside of the Kaiser Friedrich Museum. It is a plain structure as opposed to many of the others in that it is just simply stone from tip to tail. It does not have as many of these scaffoldings on there because of its kind of Spartan quality, but it does have traffic going in and out of it. What would you like to do, Olympians?
Perhaps we shouldn't go as one big group, maybe two.
But
like, we're never splitting up again. God damn it.
Yeah, but close enough to one another that we can see.
Oh, just opposite sides of the same room.
Yeah, right.
Sure. Who wants
Okay,
to
so-
go with who?
Okay,
Obviously,
you
the
two.
two officers would go together.
Yeah, you two are two officers. You two go together. He's going to elbow Kate and give her a little wink when he says that. You two go off, and then the rest of us three will be the other group.
Okay, so
That
who's
way-
going in first?
We have one German speaker in each group.
Mm-hmm.
I like this plan.
Okay,
Well-
so switch it. Nope. Switch it up.
Yep.
That was for Allison. That was just straight for Allison, so I could get Allison to be like, Greg, fuck you.
Hard success on spot hidden.
I was
Anybody
thinking it.
noticing? Looking at us?
Dwight's looking around.
Nope. I mean, this is a very crowded area. Nobody kind of, I saw something kind of flash up, and I'm like, no, I don't. So as you guys are able to go in, Dwight, you don't see anything. You look around. Nobody seems to be paying any particular attention to you all. You seem to be very German people inside a very German city in a very German part of this very German city. Who's going in first?
Those two.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, Sabella and I.
Okay, well, as you all walk in, you are greeted with a museum that has a distinctly library type of presentation to it, Sabella. Yeah, so you would immediately kind of get a familiarity with it, as this is a museum in that there are displays. It is a museum in that it has different elements and different aspects of ancient history and things of that nature. It has revolving exhibitions, but it also, or exhibits, it also has things that the general public can research. You see a general youth kind of vibe in this area, as it appears many university students or perhaps even younger are there doing research on certain things. You do notice too that there are two Nazi swastika-clad guards that seem to be over in the corner. They have slung rifles, but they are just sitting around smoking. There's no particular bent to or kind of like routine to what they're doing as the two of you walk in. And when the two of you walk in, one of them quickly puts the cigarette down, stamps it out, waits a moment, and they leave.
They're in front of a door.
They were just leaning against the wall in the corner.
Okay.
As soon as they saw the two of you in officers' uniforms, they put out the smoke and split.
Where did they leave to?
Right out the front. So as they go out the front, Greta and other company would see two Nazi soldiers come out. Greta, you would catch a whisper of one of them saying, "I told you someone would see us in there. We got to just take rest whenever we want to." And then I kind of brush past.
Cool.
Is there any kind of directory?
There is what appears to be a smartly clad librarian or curator or host sitting behind a circular desk about 10 feet past the entrance.
Okay. Oh boy. Gonna approach, go a little bit in front of Kate and kind of give her a, this is very weird for me, a like stay back kind of thing. And yep, I'm gonna go up there.
Before you do anything, I would like you to roll a charm roll, please.
I knew it. I knew it was gonna do that. It's okay.
Yes, may I help you?
I'm still gonna talk in my accent because I can't not do it. Hi, we are looking for Fraulein Schmidt.
He leans forward, and as he leans forward, the swastika on his lapel kind of catches a bit of the light and glints and says, "Are you part of the Sphinx?"
Mm-hmm.
Roll a fast talk for me.
I mean, I think I'm just gonna crit that because, you know, it's going real well.
Okay. We had another donation come in, kids. This one will either be in a few moments or at the top of next show, but I already know what I'm doing. Thank you, chat, for your love and support of your benevolent keeper. I love you all. So, as you lean forward and as you crit this and say yes, he goes, she's in the back. He stands up a bit. Go back to the very rear. You will see that there is a secondary section on the right-hand side. There is a guard out front. Just tell them you are with the Sphinx and that Paul Wagner, that's me, so I've given you my leave. And he slides a red card across the desk to you. It's about the size of a business card. It's just completely red on both sides. Just, so Paul Wagner, show him this. And Fraulein Schmidt is on the other side. She is waiting for you all.
Very good. Dankeschön.
Do you know when Alvin Schlieben will be arriving?
Soon.
Yeah, I will send him back.
Thank you. I can turn to Kate. Big eyes. Kind of snap for her to come with me. And start walking slowly. If we get to a section where there's no one around us, let me know.
Yeah, you guys are able to kind of go through to the point where there are sections where you'll be by yourself. There might be people kind of in the periphery, but this is actually not quiet like a library. There's a lot of ambient, bouncy noise in this place. So you can definitely kind of whisper and not be overheard. Everybody received a crit, and everybody also received advantage. So you may thank your lucky stars that you too have lovely friends in chat, and Katie is there having the Olympians' backs. So current crit count, just so everybody is aware, Lauren is at 4, Lindy is at 5, Allison's at 6, Steve is at, I think you're back to 3 now, buddy.
No. I'm at 4.
You're at 4? Okay. And Strider, you are also at 4. And then everybody has advantage.
Don't screw me.
I'm trying to keep track of you. Okay.
I'm pretty sure
all
I'm
right.
at 7.
All right, so as you see, this is why you get screwed. So as we, you guys keep going, you have a chance to whisper. Is there anything that you would like to say?
Yeah, I'm gonna slip off the ring and tell Kate what I just heard.
You convey it to her.
Yeah, and that all eventually means coming. And then I put it back on.
What would the secondary group like to do?
Enter like 35 seconds later.
Okay. You guys are able to walk in, and are you going up to the circular desk, or are you just kind of meandering about?
If it's not a place you have to check in, I don't think we need to go up to the desk.
Greta would, if they just have like a flyer, like with a museum map, like what is and where, Greta would just pick that up as they go by.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to have a map of the museum.
There's really no need for a map because it's like almost all one huge open area with just big columns going down. It's separated by like stacks.
Greta would know this.
Well,
spot.
she didn't really have time to go to the museum.
Yeah,
I mean, like I said, if it was something that she would be required to know, I also mentioned that there has been quite a bit of extensive construction going on in the area, so Greta wouldn't be quite too terribly aware of changes that are going on.
Well, lots of changes since I was, last in Berlin.
But I mean, she's aware of Museum Island. She was able to. I didn't make you guys roll to find Museum Island. I'm presuming that she was able to take you guys there.
Yeah.
So as you guys are able to walk in, you have not received a card, and maybe, a length, since you guys can see through the entirety of the floor in one way or another as you move around different artifacts.
You can see where they're headed off to?
Yeah, we were going slowly.
Yeah, you can see them kind of meandering towards the rear right.
Okay, we'll meander that way as well then, I think. Kind of just like on the opposite side, looking like the books on that shelf, the opposite side. But on the right side as well. So if they're going like back right, we're going front right. Kind of just observing.
I feel like I'm sneaking a beer into a concert.
Yep, that's about the stakes.
Okay, so as the second group kind of peels off in a flanking-esque maneuver here in the museum, what would Lauren and Allison, what do we get from Sabella and Kate? You guys are kind of nearing a door in the far rear right. There's a soldier in front of it. He is standing pretty rigidly at attention. It seems to add itself into a deeper area here.
That spot hidden, Greg, is for other exits out of the building as we're making our way back?
There's one in the rear wall that looks like, and because you do have a ring on, it notions as a secondary exit in the rear of the building. It is not a public access, though. All the public's coming in through the front, so it's not something that's in use, but there is another door that's labeled exterior access. So there is a rear door in the back.
I see.
Not the one you're going into. The other one you're going into seems to be part of the building, like an interior door.
Got it.
I think out of sight of the officer, I want to wait for the others. I don't want anybody being blind in here. So wait for them to catch up. Not that we're standing like conspiratorially, but maybe I'll pull Greta aside, look like we're talking about something, and tell her.
Like compliment, like, oh, your hair looks just lovely. Where did you get it done?
And I'll pause.
We're both girls.
Yeah. And talk to her, and then convey the card that Alvin's Lieben's coming. Yeah, that's what I do.
Okay, you're able to transmit that information pretty quickly. We'll say it just takes you a minute or two to kind of casually get that banter back. I'm assuming you're keeping the card, and let me ask this. Are you keeping both watches, Sabella, as this may be your last opportunity to do anything with it? I'm being nice and asking.
Yeah. I know. It's got to be someone who's staying out. Oh God, I give it to Elijah Sawyer.
I'm assuming Elijah takes it.
With that face.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't really, I'll slip it off. I have no idea how these actually work, but hopefully they'll help keep us together or get us out of a tight spot. I don't know. Hope.
Terrifying. If it is hope, I will endeavor to keep it out of Dwight's hands.
Okay.
How far away are our two groups? I want us to be real close here. Not suspiciously close, but maybe 20 feet.
Yeah, I can say that they can definitely kind of perch up. This isn't like it's a cordoned off area. There is a soldier outside the door, but there's not like a line or a demarcation around this soldier. So the secondary group can easily be like 20 feet from the door.
So I'm going to look back toward Sabella and catch her attention and then nod toward the guard. You have the card, right?
Yeah. I mean, do we think that maybe Greta should go in instead? I say that to Greta. No, I don't say Greta. I say that one.
I think we should all go in together.
Okay. Great. Yep. Okay. Maybe. Okay. This is the indecisive voice coming out. Okay. Okay. All of us. I need a head shake or a head no.
All of us. And I'm going to be walking right next to you up toward this guard.
I'm looking at the other three.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to ask them if they're coming.
Yeah, do we have your
fine.
attention as well?
Fine. Okay,
Yeah,
fine. Okay, they're coming. Okay, great. Sure. I'm going to walk up to that guard with my red card out. The fun group behind me.
As you approach with the red card out, he turns around, opens the door, pushes it open, holds it open, and just nods as you.
I assume that this is a lower ranking.
Oh yeah.
So as he does that, I walk up toward him, and I'm as if I'm going to get in very close to him to have a word with him.
He puffs himself up, and he's already like rod straight and in perfect attention. As he is, he didn't offer a salute because he was performing an action for an officer, so it wasn't something that he needed to do. So as he comes back up, he just stands straight as if he is at attention.
So as he does, I'm going to lean in close as if I'm going to whisper something to him. And in the meantime, I'm going to pull out the serpent gun that I've got on my hand that was in the sort of briefing case at my side, and put it right up to the side of his abdomen and kill him with it.
I'm going to go ahead and take that crit that you're going to spend on the luck roll I was going to make you roll here. So, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that's 5. Yeah, he takes it like a champ as you blast away the lower half of his lungs and his diaphragm, keeping him incapable of producing enough breath to offer a scream, as it is with the serpent gun. No blood, sound, or anything happens as the body begins to fall, and as luck would have it, she carries him into the door, and you guys are inside. I'm assuming that's what you do, right?
That's precisely what I do.
This is the look I'm giving you. Like, horror.
And what do we see?
When you walk in, you see that there is a table with papers everywhere. There's just several large flat tables with a large surface area. Several of them, though, have book stands on them with books open in kind of like semicircles around little stations. And then there's just like maps and scrolls and all kinds of things laid out and kind of tacked up with books to keep them open, as some of them seem to be curled with age. This entire place, there's not 1 square inch of surface that isn't covered by some type of history.
Is there anyone in the room?
You see nobody.
Are there any other exits out of the room or windows?
There seems to be a hallway heading deeper into the building.
And is the rest of the group coming in behind us?
Yeah, I mean, seeing that, we all would have, I'm pretty sure, shuffled in. And
Certainly.
Yeah,
closed
I
the
probably would
door.
have waited a couple seconds. That's so it's not like super obvious. Oh yeah, we're just following him in.
Not when I see dead guy. I'm in there.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we're in.
Okay.
And as soon as everybody's in, I want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to blockade that, or at least lock, and then if there's any more we can do to get that door shut behind us.
It'll close behind you, and it opens inward as he opened the door inward for you. So if you want to put something up against it, there are plenty of tables and furniture in here if you want to go that route. But as far as locking it, there doesn't seem to be a locking mechanism on it. It's just a latch door.
I just start sifting through papers.
Yeah, I would do the same.
Dwight pushes the door. He'll put anything against the door.
Okay.
Because I'm guessing these are all in German.
Hey, high five.
Oh no, these are in numerous. A lot of it's in. There's a lot of German translation, but there's a lot of original texts that are in anything but German.
Okay.
I would like anybody that's looking at anything, give me a library use to see what you can glean in.
Oh my god. Okay.
Success.
Roll 20. Okay. Thank God,
Lindy.
Katie.
Oh, I succeed. That's
Okay, so
unbelievable. Really unbelievable.
okay, so as Elijah, if you are doing this as well, you can obviously roll a library use if you would wish it.
No, keeping an eye on that hallway.
Yeah.
Okay, you're keeping an eye on the hallway. Here is what we have for. Here's what we have for. Let's see who got the lowest one. It's gonna be Steve. Okay, so
Dwight.
Dwight, when you're pushing one of the tables into place, you look down, and for a moment you're kind of preoccupied by what you see there. There is a sketch, a large, like 2 or 3 foot sketch of what looks like a 15 or 20 foot tall cylindrical container. There seems to be heavy gauge wiring that's running up its side and into it. There's a lot of other kind of technical sketches here as well. If you would like to roll an electrical repair, a science physics, or an occult, I'm going to need harder extremes on all of them to glean more information. While you think about that, let's see, who else do we have? Kate, when you, at the area that you look down, you see the following. You see another sketch pad open between numerous books. There's books everywhere, a couple scrolls that are open, a couple that have been pieced together and almost like taped with clear tape to kind of keep different elements from different materials together and kind of spelled out. As you're looking at it, you see renderings of charcoal drawings of the Gug that you all fought before, or a gug. You also see a dole, those giant worms that burst out of the ground in New York City. And if you roll either an art or an idea roll, Kate, I can tell you a little bit more.
Alrighty then. How about a hard success?
With a hard success, you realize that these charcoal drawings of the gug and the dole are part of this kind of attached easel or attached pad. And when you take a piece from the back, it's transparent. And when you lay it over the charcoal drawing, you see sketches now of the gug with weapon platforms and large raised saddles. One shows zeppelins docking with a large ring on the back of one of the doles.
Got it. As we're doing all of this, I quietly, but so that everyone can hear, now grab what you can, but stay focused. Remember, we're looking for information about Schmidt or about the shroud. Anything at all that we can find out. That's what we're here for. And we don't have much time.
Okay, so as everybody is doing it, and this is what we're going to do to start next episode, is we're all going to roll lucky rolls to see what you can grab. However, before we do any of that, I want Dwight to roll or decide to roll what he was going to for the item that he saw, as he kind of just gleans this information as he's pushing the desk over or the table over in front of the door. Are you using a crit?
Right. Yeah. You know I
Okay.
am.
Just asking.
Yeah.
As you use the crit, you continue to read down, and it looks as if this cylindrical device with the wires running into it, you're not entirely sure, but it looks as if there are elements of a battery, electrical
How would
storage.
I know this? I mean, really.
But it's something that you've seen. It's something you've seen
Yeah.
before in a vehicle.
I would throw it to Greta immediately. Can I crit
Okay.
to Greta? I crit
Okay.
to her.
Okay, you guys are able
Yeah.
to glean that there is battery implements, electrical storage, and transfer, but just from the sketch, it's hard to tell in which direction the device is aligned. It's hard to see if it's going into the cylinder for battery storage, or it's going out of the cylinder for energy transfer, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Also, at the very bottom of this page, you are able to read this, Greta, as it's kind of swung over to you and the crit is given to you.
Yes.
You see written in German, Project Freya. Everybody roll a listen device for me, please. Or listen,
I'm good
a
at
listen roll for me, please.
that. I'm good at that.
Nope.
Success.
Success.
Fail from the
Okay.
guy that said he was going to go listen.
Yeah.
That's the way it always happens, right, brother? Okay, so Kate, since you got the lowest, you hear a door open just down the hall. And we'll just say that at this moment, when there's conversation there, Elijah, you look back just for a second to see what the group was talking about. And just at that time, Kate, you look over past Elijah's shoulder and you see a door swing open down the hall. It's opening directly into the line of sight that you guys have. It's maybe 10 feet beyond Elijah.
Deeper into the library, right?
Deeper into the museum, yes.
Is it a woman?
It's just an opening door.
I snap my fingers to get everybody's attention and point back toward the door.
I've seen it as well, Greg. Success.
You hear
Sorry.
Pete, why did you come back? And you see a woman appear into the hallway. And Kate, for a moment, when your eyes look up, you see Honest Pete Abraham as he limps towards the door, and the door closes. The woman locks the door, turns around, sees you all, and a bite of apple falls out of her mouth. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where we are going to end this session of Project Athena. We've got a surprise that I'm going to wait until next time to implement, thanks to our benevolent chat.
I'm ready to kill things.
Huh.
Yep, we've got, for those of you, yes, keeping count, Catalyst, we've got 2 things that are happening next week in the form of $20 donations, and I am going to give you one hint. Ludolf von Alvenschleben. So, I want to give that its due. So that's what we're waiting for. Let's go around to everybody. We'll go in reverse order. So I guess we'll start with Lindy. Lindy.
Hi, Greg.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm doing fine. This was fun. Greta got to get a little bit of lab time, which is good. She finally got to sample some things and learn shit. She's so happy. She's so happy. Finally. But she's about to be probably not very happy, because if she was very happy, she'd still be in the lab sciencing things up. But yeah, I can't wait for next week to see what fun new things we can learn then. She's also not entirely sure she believes that it's just the ring and is wondering if Sibylla spoke German this whole time and is just playing dumb. And she's like, man, I've said a lot of stuff. I've muttered a lot of things. So, you know, she's just really watching what she says right now, and it's gonna be great. You can find me in the meantime, before next week, online at LaughLoveLindy on Twitch and Twitter. I need to post a new schedule. My schedule for this coming week is basically the same as this past week, so look at that and you'll be good. I'm really excited and can't wait for next time.
Awesome. Allison, how are you doing, and did you like the episode?
Yes, Greg, I loved the episode very much. Thank you. That was awesome. That was so much fun. Every moment that we get to do something badass makes me super happy. And it's Pulp Cthulhu, right? So it's totally about being badass and not about going insane or dying at all, ever. It's never about that. Just keep that in mind as we get ready to go on. I'm going to interrupt you. I always forget just how fucking ruthless Kate is. I swear to God, like, whenever you get into this, like, whole, you know, she's tactical and stuff, and I forget that at the drop of a hat, she will kill federal marshals. She will blow up a goddamn building. She is just absolutely chaos. I love it. I couldn't love it anymore. That it's
everyone worries about Greta, and Kate's pulling all the shit up.
It's working out super well, everybody. And I'm sure it will again next week. So join us here to see. In the meantime, you can catch me on Twitter, also generally being incredibly chaotic, at Allison Robinson with 2 L's and a Y. Catch me on 2 amazing podcasts, God's Fall and the WanderQuest podcast. And love and respect and all good things to this cast and crew. So much fun to get to do this with you every week. Mwah.
Love it. So from Allison up to the sniper, who somehow rolled the library use that got rolled a 5 while the librarian rolled a 90.
I rolled it because I got to throw a credit out there and knew that wouldn't happen. However, it's bullshit.
Well, okay. Bullshit accepted. How are you doing? Did you like the episode beyond the bullshit?
I did. You know I like them. Yes, of course. I knew the hallway, the door, what was coming out of the door. I had a blast. I'm ready for next week. What's going to happen? I'm not too sure. So, Greg, as always, you do phenomenal. The story is off the wall. I wait for next week. Thank you.
Nice.
Follow these people. They deserve it. They're beautiful.
And with the beautiful comment, we go to the glowing angel. Strider, what do you think, my friend, after you made everybody oh so perfectly pretty for their jaunt in jolly old Berlin?
Favorite part's probably still the shaved scrotum, but it was good.
Shorn. There's nothing
it
quite
was
as
a good
beautiful.
episode all around. I know Greta hates his shitty fake German accent, so just barely earshot out of anyone, like in the museum. He's just hamming it up walking through there. People are going to start talking, Doctor. I think this counts as date 2.
Well, if you're calling this a date.
This is a museum. You don't want to know what happens on date 3.
Oh, I think I
dry.
do.
Ha! I knew that one. Yeah, it's great. Elijah has even less of an idea what's going on than Strider does, and Strider doesn't like his theories. But let's hang on. I'm going to save those crits for sanity checks, I think. Be a good idea. I'll be here next week. Check it out. This is the place to be. Like I said, some kind of metaphor about good family home cooking.
Love you, brother. Okay, let's go over to Lauren. Lauren, how did you enjoy your time in merry old 1933?
I am perplexed.
Perplexed. That's good.
Yes.
It's better than being pissed. I usually get the other P word, but
Oh, well, don't worry, it'll come around.
stages,
yes.
right?
I mean, it's only a matter of time. I can almost guarantee when it'll be. I very much enjoyed this, as always. My head is just swirling with theories and it won't calm down. But you can follow me on Twitter at That's Salty Ginger, or see me tomorrow on Encounter Roleplay playing some D&D 5e at 1 p.m. Eastern, and then I'll be back here on Friday for Conan, and Saturday night on the Greyhawk channel for Valley of Soot and Skull, and then back here on Sunday. Best day. Sunday is best day.
Sunday is best day. It is super fun with these great people, these fantastic role players and fantastic people. If you don't believe me, well, go fuck yourself, because they are. Anywho, we are here in 1933, and we are going to stay in 1933 for as long as we can, telling the story of these Project Athenian Olympians, where they came real close to meeting their sister team of Project Kronos. In fact, there was a lingering glance there a bit between Cato Callahan and her savior, Honest Pete Abraham, who went to no expense to have her found. We'll see how that plays out. As for me, Grimjack21502 on the Twitches and the Twitters, you can see my channel starting Friday at 12 to 2 for the aforementioned Conan, Age Undreamed Of. And then from Friday from 2 to 4, we do a little Firefly, Tales from the Big Damn Verse. And then on Saturday, the sister show to the one you just watched, it is Project Kronos on Saturdays from 2 to 4 Eastern, where we see some of the older original Olympians relive their first and potentially last episodes with a little time messery. And so with all of that being said, you can also find me on Encounter Roleplay on Mondays. You can find me on WebDM on Tuesday evenings, Tomes and Tentacles podcast, which is winding up another fantastic Cthulhu story if you just can't get enough. A man by the name of Ben Counter, at Ben Counter on the Twitters. He's a good one to follow if you like the horror, because he is a first-rate storyteller. Tomes and Tentacles is great. And then Cthulhu, Doors to Darkness, 1 to 4 on Encounter Roleplay. I will be there, and I'm also doing a little Fates of Cthulhu this week. I believe it's this week on Wednesday.
The 11th.
On Wednesday, it is on Little Red Dot on Chelsea's Twitch, and then that is where I will be playing yet some more Cthulhu, because I'm not crazy enough. As for everybody that made contributions tonight, thank you so much. You are definitely affecting the story, as things were laid out are going to be much different at the top or near the top of the show next Sunday. So everyone that has made contributions, please join in and see what your desire has wrought. And now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Olympians of all ages, we of Project Athena wish you, well, just get through 2018. We'll be here waiting for you in 1933. Have a good one, kids.